The America First president meets the United Nations. And any moment now on the sidelines, President Trump will sit down with the French President Emmanuel Macron. President Trump, a long-time critic of the United Nations, has only been at the General Assembly for a couple of hours today and has already plugged one of his properties and told diplomats to pay up.
In recent years, the United Nations has not reached its full potential because of bureaucracy and mismanagement. While the United Nations on a regular budget has increased by 140% and its staff has more than doubled since 2000, we are not seeing the results in line with this investment.
President Trump may have mocked the UN in the past, but this week he is there to ask for help in dealing with North Korea and the country's leader, who he just referred to on Twitter as the Rocket Man. So I have Brian Karem standing by, CNN political analyst and executive editor for the Sentinel newspapers. Brian, welcome back. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's begin first just in listening to the president over the course of the last couple of hours. You know, talk to me about the president's message and how you think he's done so far.
Well, his message, of course, he's a businessman and he's trying to address the business side of the United Nations, and it's not really a business. So he's kind of in conflict there. I think he's remained staid and stoic, hopefully on script. But there could be a Twitter storm, some more Twitter litter at any moment. So heaven only knows. The thing that he's facing actually as he goes there is the problem that as he's asking for more accountability, we're putting less into the UN, and the very idea of trying to fight terrorism while at the same time hurting the least of our brothers who have not enough to even feed themselves will actually create more terrorism. So he's got quite a few number of little things he's got to deal with while he's at the UN, and he has a speech tomorrow morning. And during that speech, many people are hoping that he stays on script, and we'll see what happens. If he goes off script and starts ad-libbing, there could be history made at the UN tomorrow morning.
The world will be watching. The speech is at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We mentioned North Korea a second ago. You know, the president, he likes his nicknames, as we remember back to the different nicknames from the campaign trail, but now he's added one for Kim Jong-un out of Pyongyang, referring to him as Rocket Man over Twitter. Brian, what's the impact of that?
Well, that's, I mean, at some point in time, you have to remain a little bit presidential. I imagine Bernie Taupin and Elton John are not too happy with him using the term, but maybe he is burning down his fuse up there alone. The thing is at some point in time, as he said he can be presidential, he has to actually do it. And when you're undercutting efforts, diplomatic efforts, internationally by just chiding North Korea with that kind of nickname. I mean, can you imagine if I don't know, Roosevelt had said, you know, Hitler is a duty head before we started, you know, got involved in World War II. I mean, it's very childish. It's not presidential, and it doesn't do anybody any good.
I know. We're going to talk in a moment with some ladies about the retweet over the weekend of the golf ball, you know, which again raises questions, and Senator Dianne Feinstein questioning obviously just why he would do that, being the president of the United States. But let me talk to you, since we're on the UN, on Iran specifically, Brian. The Iranian president telling CNN that the U.S. will pay the price for killing a nuclear deal. Will pay the price. How will that sit with President Trump?
Well, I mean, that's more rhetoric. We'll up the rhetoric. We have been very good with rhetoric, but it keeps you from actually reaching deals when the rhetoric is so hot and so flamboyant. So you expect that out of Iran, you expect it out of North Korea, and you don't expect the United States to respond in kind. You expect us to be the big brother, us to be the adult in the room. So hopefully we will respond as the adult in the room. There are real consequences involved in this, whether it's Iran or it's North Korea. And if we continue to only engage in rhetoric, in a rhetorical battle that gets us nowhere, we're the ones that are going to suffer. And when Iran says what Iran says, you have to realize the source, and you can't play to the children in the room.
Brian Karem, thank you so much for weighing in on all things UN. Let's all